Welcome back to the Watch Longman podcast, the show where we watch shows and you can watch them with us. I am Chris. With me today, I got Cody Farrell. What's up? What's up, Farrell? What are you doing there with you just having fun on Skype?
Yeah, I bought a new PC this weekend, so I can actually do multiple things at once.
Playing some Minesweeper there. We also got Keith. What's up, Keith? I like the new digs. You got some glasses on.
Yeah, I can finally see now. It's a whole new world.
Looking good. Send us all of your Dexter's Laboratory memes. I think that's what I'm going to lean into after seeing our boy here.
I feel a little safer riding in the car with Keith now.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it was a coin toss before, especially. I think it's less of a coin toss if it's at night. You are more likely to be injured. It's pretty fucking scary.
On our way, baby. On our way to buy my PC, Keith was with me, and it was raining pretty hard, and he just said, "I'm glad you're driving, not me."
That makes you wonder how the rest of the times go when he's by himself. I mean, certainly whoever your optometrist is, they made the world a safer place by putting those prescriptions on your face. So bless.
Sponsor us now that we're all wearing glasses.
There we go. Hey, Zenny, what's up?
Zenny.
Let's get a glasses sponsorship. That's for sure. And I'm trying to think of a transition here. Our show today, where you read the title, we're going over. I fucking hate these things. I hate the little Skype things. We're going over House of the Dragon episode 3. We've been covering this show as it goes. We're doing a lot better than we did with Obi-Wan because Farrell and I have still not finished the Obi-Wan series. Well, we finished the series, but not the episode, not the podcast episode.
God forbid, don't. I have Star Wars in the back, and I finished it. I promise.
Yeah. So. Doing a lot better with House of the Dragon. We're on episode 3 now. So just going to kind of bring you guys our quick take of it, let you know how we're feeling. Of course, we're going to go into spoilers here. It's a review about the episode overall. I do have a little bit of information here that kind of come out. We found out last week that the show was extended for a second season, which, I mean, pretty predictable. I mean, everyone's on board with this. But a little bit of news coming through is as we went from episode 2 to episode 3, it saw a drop off of about 1 million viewers, going down from, what was it, Farrell, 3 to 2 million watchers at release. Is that right?
I can't verify that.
You motherfucker! You gave me the information and then you.
I just know it dropped 1 million. I don't know from what.
Thanks so much, Farrell. Thanks for that. Thanks for that reliable source. Thank you so much.
I actually have the viewership up right now.
Thank you.
And it doesn't appear to be in for episode 3 yet officially. So
okay.
Yeah, we're at 2.26 for episode 2. So
Farrell's doing his damnedest.
I was right. It was 3
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like a little bit of misinformation there. It made us look like an asshole, but this is just breaking news. We're bringing you the information. The viewer drop off was there, which surprises me because I don't know who would stop watching after episode 2. Does that make much sense to you guys?
This was cable viewers as well, so like a lot of people will be watching probably throughout the week or something like that. So I don't know if there's no accurate.
Yeah, streaming through the week. I mean, that's big though, because that was Game of Thrones' whole thing. Is everyone on Sunday night is getting together and watching it. So, I mean, I think there's a tell there. There's something going on. It's saying something. Pretty surprising to me that people would stop watching, because if you made it through episode 2, I mean, why the hell? Why would you stop? You know what I mean? You gotta keep going. You left on a pretty good cliffhanger. You don't know what's going on with the war between the brothers. I'd want to see more. So
holiday weekend, people are out on the lake.
That's true. It was Labor Day weekend, so that would make a lot of sense for the drop off. We'll see when the official numbers are released, and we'll see kind of next week. Another piece of news that come out there is one of
breaking.
Yeah, and this one I looked up. I researched this one, so this is actual facts, not like the facts that Farrell is bringing to the table. Who knows what the hell those are? But the co-show runner and director Miguel Sapochnik, again, probably messed that shit up, but he is taking a step away. He's been involved for like 2 years or so. He was also involved in Game of Thrones, and he said it's time to move on and time to go to different things with his career. So it wasn't like bad blood or anything, which is really nice. And So that leaves Ryan Condal, who was already a co-showrunner. He is now taking over as the main showrunner, and they have already brought in Alan Taylor to step in as an executive producer and a director, and they were heavily involved in Game of Thrones as well. And of course, George R. R. Martin is still involved in the writing. So while the big news,
not writing,
he's still not writing books, but he is helping with the show.
Other people write.
Yeah. So you guys usually get caught off guard by that kind of stuff when someone steps down. What does that usually, does that throw up a flag for you at all?
The fact that he's staying with HBO, I'm not sure if they announced what show he's going to, but I don't think it's a bad thing. He also stepped away from Game of Thrones, I think, after the first couple of seasons. I think he's more of a launcher kind of guy, so maybe I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, George is heading the ship. So,
that's kind of what the interview with Hollywood Reporter, that's what it felt like, is he just kind of, he's there for the launch. He does the behind the scene work of getting everything ready, and he likes to see the startup, and then he likes to kind of pass it off to other hands. Keith, do you freak out when you see producers and directors leave?
No, I'm not concerned about it. I think, kind of like Farrell said, I think the timing of it and the way that it's happening makes it a little less concerning. More concerning to me is the quotes that we've been getting from George R. R. Martin, basically saying that, at the end of the run of Game of Thrones, he was on the outside looking in and stuff, and they quit consulting him. So I think as long as they keep
do that,
checking in with him and making sure that they're not straying, I don't think it super matters. Not that, obviously the writers and directors are a big part of it, but I think as long as they kind of keep intact what's working to the highest degree they can, I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, I like seeing that they're bringing in more people from the original Game of Thrones series too. It seems like a really clean, swap. They're not trying to replace another co-showrunner. They're just bringing in another executive producer and director here. So I think it'll be a clean swap, and I don't think we'll even see anything about that until season 2, most likely. So should be a good little shift there. So
I have a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
We might be ready to say this. I don't know.
I'm sure it's based in entirely fact.
There's a rumor that Elizabeth Olsen is going to be casted for season 2.
She wants
as well as Henry Cavill.
Wow, Henry Cavill, huh? I saw that he was he's joining Loki too, so he's spreading his wings. He's getting into everything.
Yeah, I think the Elizabeth Olsen was definitely more credible. The Henry Cavill kind of got thrown out at the end, so I could see Elizabeth Olsen for sure joining something.
He gets fan casted and everything. But
yeah,
that's true. Rightfully so. I mean,
I think Henry Cavill is too big of a face to throw into this. He's already typecasted for Witcher in this fantasy series. So, but I could see Elizabeth Olsen playing a mean Targaryen maybe down the road.
I like how you said you didn't want Henry Cavill because he'd be typecasted, and then you typecasted Elizabeth Olsen immediately as mean being a witch. Hey,
no.
I hope they both join.
She's not anything fantasy.
I hope they both join. Give them a class.
I wouldn't be mad. Too. Maybe Cavill could be a random knight, not necessarily a main character kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like you're looking past the opportunity to see some Cavill ass here. That's a big potential. You get him in Game of Thrones, we're probably gonna get some ass. All right, yeah, just complete silence off that one, Farrell. Thank you so much for the banter back and forth on that. So let's talk about episode 3. House of the Dragon. We know how he feels about it. He loves it. House of the Dragon episode 3. A lot going on here. We have another time jump. How are you boys feeling about the pacing here with how we're jumping through time? It's going. We're in it. We're going fast.
Yeah, I think it works. I think it works really good. I mean, there's things that we don't need to see, and they're not showing us those things. So, I have no beef with it whatsoever. I think everything that happens that's material is pretty self-explanatory. Or clearly displayed what happened. The first thing that comes to mind is the prince. Find out pretty quickly who he is, why he's there, what we missed, and things like that. So I think it's a good idea, and I think they're doing it well. So either of those, if they weren't executing it, it could be very confusing. But I think they're doing a really good job of making it clear.
Yeah, makes it no filler, no fluff, just all meat and potatoes.
Yeah, they did a really good job of, instead of just putting, like, I think the first episode to the second one, they put action on the screen 6 months later. But this one, they started with the little boy, and like saying it was his 2-year birthday party or something. So it was like very obvious that they were 2 years ahead of time. So that was pretty cool that they're finding creative ways to kind of explain that without just putting it on the screen.
Yeah, speaking of the boy, our he gets an heir. He gets a son heir, great old Aegon. And have you guys seen how people are starting to pick up in the regular Game of Thrones series, and they're starting to pick up what's going on here? We got the story that the princess was telling, and then we also have Joffrey looking down into like the sewers. Have you guys seen that stuff floating around?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to avoid it for some people that have been watching catching up on Game of Thrones. I'm like, you will see a major spoiler for this if you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an intended spoiler, I guess. I mean,
yeah, Courtney saw it, and it's like I had to stop the spoilers with her asking like, who are these people telling the story? I was like, well, now you don't need that. You're not going to understand all that.
Yeah.
What they're telling you is fine. I mean, we'll get there eventually, and you have to assume they're not going to make it a huge spoiler, but it is weird seeing that floating around when there is people that haven't watched it yet.
I mean, between having seen Game of Thrones and remembering it and being like wouldn't call myself a super fan, but a big fan, and having read Fire and Blood, I mean, I do know what happens.
Oh, so, yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys, if you're book fans, you're already, you read the manga, you're way ahead.
Try not to if we do any like speculating, I'm not gonna. I'll speculate on like the details, but I'm not gonna I think this person does this or whatever. But yeah, I mean they've told stories in Game of Thrones about what we're watching right now, which is really cool. It's just that's what excites me about this whole series and has from the jump. Like to actually put pictures with the tales is really, really cool. So
yeah, and George R. Martin did an interview where he was like, I don't like when they change my book characters. And so he's pretty particular about sticking with his original script. He's like, I wrote it and it's the best version, so that's the version you should use. He's kind of a dick about it when he says
he's like, this took me 6 years to write this one page, so you better use it.
That's what I was going to say, is how many draft and edits you go through. It would kind of piss you off to see some showrunner make a slight change just because, the execs would rather have, kind of a badass character than, another.
He's on his high horse right now about Game of Thrones for sure.
He's feeling good. I've seen some things. He's feeling himself. He's had a good couple of years. I mean, he wrote for Elden Ring, and then now this is coming out, and who knows? Maybe he's working on the rest of the actual Game of Thrones series. He
did say that the series was one they changed for the show, and it actually was better than how he wrote him in the book. So
that's a good little transition. That's interesting. Viserys, I remember that briefly in the beginning of the season in episode 1, I was wishy-washy about the actor, about the character. I was like, is this guy, he kind of seems flat and boring. I will say that in episode 3, not only the character came to life, but the actor really, stepped up and went wild. We definitely see him, I think, act his ass off in this episode, and he's heavily involved, heavy as the head that wears the crown. What do you guys think of kind of the dilemma that people are bringing to him, and as we're looking at this feast for his son's birthday, he's getting plenty of marriage pitches, all kinds of shit coming at him.
It's not always good to be the king.
Yeah, it's kind of the meat and potatoes of why I love, this universe, because the struggle that has been created with this situation is magnified by the idea that, they are willing to basically keep their bloodlines together. So like when when they're trying to win over his daughter's hand, literally every person of power is an option, including his son. which is wild. So it's like, obviously there are, and where you were going with it, how you thought the actor and the character stepped up. I think his character is becoming like very, very likable, because he truly is conflicted, and he cares a lot about the well-being and happiness of his daughter, which is pretty rare, especially in this universe. So he's a very likable character, and I think he's very human as far as like what he's struggling with and kind of his thought process and his overall frustration with being the king. I think is very relatable of how most people would deal with it.
Yeah, and I think part of that, the decision he has to make in the very first episode between his wife and, potentially the kid, is like, it almost pushes you into thinking like he's a bad dude, but you realize that it's just a terrible decision. He's had it rough. And the character I wanted to like the most was Otto Hightower, which he is just continuously making it so tough. Though I want to like him for some reason. I don't know why. But God, he's a little bit hateable, bringing up what you said there with suggesting that he has his daughter marry his son. Just absolutely wild. And that's what they're willing to do for the
let's
crown.
not forget his grandson.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Exactly,
he wants his bloodline in there with the king.
To be king, yeah. It doesn't matter who the heir is if you marry your son to the heir, but
yeah,
I think Viserys is the only person at this point you can really root for. Like, Rhaenyra is rootable right now, but I mean, we know where she's going, like through the previews and context clues. So I definitely think he's the one everyone's holding on to right now. And I now understand the comment by the showrunners at the beginning of the series where they're like, "You're not supposed to like anyone in the show," because I believe that there's not going to be very many likable people.
Yeah.
The politicking is top notch for me. I kind of said I was looking forward to that, and so far that's been the biggest deliverable for me. Is like at every step you're actually thinking about like the battle plans and the line of succession and like which marriages would shore up the house as strongly as possible. So like that's the kind of stuff that I really enjoy, and it's kind of a feast for your brain to kind of soak it all in and think about what the best decisions are.
I did enjoy going 2 episodes without any Lannisters, and now here we are. I guess we had the one on the guard, but now they're front and center as attempting to be suitors for Rhaenyra.
What a bad timing! Just bad timing. You don't come to the king when he's drunk.
The lion's back.
Yeah, and our boy on the council, I think it's Strong is his name. He kind of redeemed himself there, and he's talking to Viserys, and he says, "Let me guess, your son would be the best, suit for the princess." And he's like, "No," and brings a legitimate plan that actually has some backing to it, is a decent idea. Brings that to the table, kind of redeems himself for being such an ass about a potential woman taking the crown, which I had it down for him. Taking points
after seeing him fight, that boy's pretty strong looking.
Yeah. He was badass in the battle with the crab feeder at the end, and that's kind of the other end of what's going on. We can kind of get back to Rhaenyra and her hunt and everything at the feast, but I disagree. But on the Stepstones, we've got Daemon out there just doing his damnedest, man. How are you guys feeling? How are you feeling about Daemon? Because he is. I've seen some things George R.R. Martin is saying, and that he is the most. You kind of said you toss a coin with them, and how it comes down is how they're going to be. He is very complex, and he's intended to be complex. How are you guys feeling about how Daemon's putting off on the show?
He is the most petty character I've ever seen. I saw a lot of things where he's like, when you're so petty that you literally fight a whole army by yourself so that you don't get support from your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And also, he did not say a single word the whole episode, but carried like the last half of that episode without saying a single word.
Yeah,
that's how strong of a character he is already.
He's weirdly likable,
even though he's so ugly.
Yeah, like I was watching this with my wife, and I was like about
Uh,
halfway through him rolling around on the beach, dodging arrows and shit. I was like, he's kind of a badass, huh? Like,
yeah, he's the
he's
villain you
just
like.
literally out there fucking people up, and just a power move, man. Like the he's playing chess, you know. He wanted to do this on his own, and he did. I mean, it was very risky, but
It's too bad Boromir can't run like that. You know what I mean?
or Rickon.
Yeah, or Rick. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
was
you gotta
that was
dodge and weave, get rid of Shayla.
But it's
pretty.
like in Game of Thrones when Daenerys is talking about taking her dragon in the battle and turning the tides of a battle. I forget who it is. I think it's not Sir Barristan, but somebody tells her it's one stray arrow. Doesn't matter how tough the dragon is, it'll take you off the dragon. And like in this, you could tell that they're used to fighting people on dragons because they're just shooting arrows at him like nonstop when he was riding around on the dragon in the beginning of the episode. So it's pretty cool to see kind of the different eras of war. When the dragons are more normalized, because they're freaked out by the dragon, but it's not the same effect that it has when they resurface in Game of Thrones. Obviously when it flanks them and destroys them, it's an issue, but pretty cool to see it as just a more like usable battle tactic.
Yeah, I mean here they've built tactics around that and hiding underneath in the tunnels. Is directly because of the dragons, which is really brilliant. I mean, I enjoyed that too, seeing them kind of being able to hold their own against dragons, which in Game of Thrones would have never happened. I mean, they had the huge crossbows or ballistas, but without those, it was nothing. You were just.
Ask the Night King about dragons.
No, that's true. Yeah, one javelin.
I do wish we're full spoilers, right?
Oh yeah, we're way spoilers.
I
Now.
picked on a bonus episode about this. You're done.
I do wish that we could have seen inside the cave.
Yeah,
but in a
I
way,
thought we were going to get to. He chased
kind of,
him in.
Yeah,
I didn't love
became-
that. Yeah, I didn't also love the off-screen death of the character that kind of got built up that much.
I think he was more of a tactician, though. Like I don't think I could almost in my head I almost think he didn't even put up a fight.
Yeah.
It also makes Daemon look like. Could you really make a scene that makes him look stronger than just carrying out his half body? Like, if the purpose of the killing him was to make Daemon look legitimate, then you could accomplish that without showing it.
I mean, he already stormed the beach by himself. He
Right.
was going to
Normandy.
catch that body no matter what. Yeah, that was intense. I thought it was crazy that he went by himself. All to be a little bitch to your brother. You know what I mean? All to show Big Bubby you don't need it is kind of.
Also, have you ever heard of "Don't Kill the Messenger"?
Yeah, but here's what I was thinking. I'm assuming his strategy there, and I'm assuming. Well, I guess we'll probably find out next episode when Viserys learns about what happens. But I'm assuming they killed the rest of the party as well, and that is a message that's going to quote unquote never have arrived. But I could be wrong about that. But I was thinking that was. I don't think it was a frustration.
I don't think they killed him because they showed them like carrying the injured guy away, like back.
Unless they stormed them afterwards, but I mean,
Oh, he
they don't
didn't
really
kill
have
the
a
messenger?
no. He
Yeah,
didn't
they
kill
were,
him,
like,
he beat the
carrying him
shit
away.
out of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My
I
bad.
mean, he
they-
maybe he was dead, but there was at least other soldiers
Yeah, they were
from
retreating.
King's Landing carrying
Okay.
him away.
Okay. So yeah, I doubt they did then.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
then, if they killed them, like you got to assume that they're gonna leave some at the boat. I mean, that's a lot of assuming
Either way.
of what's gonna happen.
That was my first thought. Was he just gonna be like, "Yeah, we never got the message," but I guess he's just gonna go boldly into it and say,
Yeah,
"Didn't
that
need your
done
help.
by the time
Did it by
back,
myself."
yeah.
Yeah, I got your message, and I decided, nah, I'll take care of it myself. Ended it that day.
Reminds
That's
me of our old friend when we used to play Call of Duty. Whenever there was a firefight, he just ran in for himself with glory.
That's you, homie.
Can I start complaining yet?
Yeah, go for it. Complain. Let's hear it.
All right. This is a smart thing that they're doing, and I get why they're doing it, but it's starting to annoy me, and that is the dense fog that is everywhere. I mean, I know it's a cheaper way to do these big scenes, but it's kind of starting to wear on me.
Yeah, It is. I mean, it's everywhere. Anywhere
Everywhere.
they're at, any setting they're in, there is a very dense fog.
And like in contrast, like I mean, on our main episode this week, we're talking about the Lord of the Rings series. You know, other feelings aside, I feel like that show's cutting zero corners, and I know it's $1 billion venture for the Lord of the Rings show, but like in contrast to how this looks, where it's so like murky and kind of muddled with the fog, it's just kind of an eyesore, and I hope that it kind of goes away. But I think every scene that has a dragon, we're gonna see this.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean in this one too. I guess we are in a forest with the celebration that's going on in the hunt, so you know it's going to be densely packed with trees, and I guess more believable. I think the only other thing we're probably going to get is city settings. You know what I mean, where it's easily compact that way. But I think you're right. Anytime there's a dragon on screen, we're not going to get a lot of landscape or anything. Which, yeah, I agree. I mean, valid complaint.
It's a trade. It is a
Valid.
trade, and it's one I'm willing to make. You know, if you can get the dragons on screen.
I think they spent their money elsewhere.
Yeah, and this is the trade-off. I guess it's fair, but it
And
is something.
You know, I've said it. The dragons are fine, but I would say this episode we approached too much dragon for me. They were well timed, so I won't say it was too much. They were well timed dragons. Wasn't a ton, but we kind of got a little bit. The dragon scale was a little up there for me. I know I'm not going to be, you know, that's probably a little bit of a hot take, but if it's a trade-off that we're talking about, what Keith just said, and dragons, I'll take the landscapes every day, to be honest. But you know, that's just me.
Yeah,
I did hear that they spent a significant amount on the hunt because George R. R. Martin was pissed off that hunt wasn't shown when Robert did it. Like he wanted all those camps and the whole like, and they just showed him like in the woods only. And he was talking about it. He's like, I'm pissed off that they didn't show like what the actual how much people would go on this hunt. It would be an expedition. So I think they appeased him and spent a lot of money on the scenes for the hunt.
I do love that they're checking all the like Renaissance style stuff that I like. They have the joust already, which again, Game of Thrones did too, and then this like kind of traditional-esque hunt where it's actually like a team of hunters that goes out, and then the king just does the dirty work at the end. When the boar, hungover. When the boar come out, I was like, oh no, a boar. And again, Courtney has not seen Game of Thrones, and she's like, "What's the big deal? What's a boar? What do you mean?" I was like, "They're just bad news, man. They're bad news."
Yeah, I was explaining. Allie's even watched. I was just explaining like boars in this like fantasy series will just fuck you up. Like boars are dangerous in real life. Like and
yeah.
So it's these are big boars though.
I mean, like one of the things he's always done as a writer, like he uses the house sigils and everything is like one of the easiest ways of foreshadowing. Like in the very first episode of Game of Thrones, the stag kills the direwolf, which obviously comes back for a pretty big way wrapping up the first season. So like a lot of these details that he wants in are things I think that in some way, shape, or form, I think that him using a Lannister weapon to kill the boar or the stag, I think will even that in its own right is a little bit of foreshadowing, right? The Lannisters help bringing down the stag.
Him missing the first time, foreshadowing that he's getting weaker.
Yeah. So I mean, Martin is he's pretty purposeful in what he wants and what he writes. So I think that's kind of like harkening back to what we were talking about earlier. Like if he tells them to do something, I hope they learn their lesson from Game of Thrones going off the rails, and I hope that they actually go back and do it. And according to what you're saying, him throwing a fit about this not being in there and then going back and fixing it, I think is a really good sign for kind of the care that I hope they continue to show here.
I could see why though maybe after 8 seasons or 7 seasons, the writers are tired of him in their ear and they're just like, we're doing what we want to do now. Screw you. The way he presents himself sometimes is like,
I mean, that's fine, but they wouldn't have a job if it wasn't
No.
for him, you know?
No, I agree with you 100%, but I also see a counterpoint where he's kind of a dick. Like, and I saw after you work with him for like 7 years of your life, you're probably just like, screw you, Martin. I'm doing what I want to finish.
Game of Thrones is a lot
products.
better without a bitch in your ear telling you to put a stag on the screen.
Finish the book.
The product speaks for itself. I'm as frustrated as anybody that he hasn't finished the books, but the product speaks for itself.
I mean, we don't got to work with him every day, though. You don't know what it's like. I mean, just
I wonder-
hearing his interviews, I get kind of annoyed by like him fucking like throwing it in their face that they didn't.
Yeah, there's I recently saw a TikTok of him like reading the map and explaining the stepstones and everything like that, and as soon as you open the comments, it's just write the book. It's like the first one that's up there, and people are just screaming at him like, no one wants you to read a fucking map, we want you to write a book.
I'm kind of at the point where I think even if this show wasn't happening, we're not getting the book. So I at least want him to make this good.
The 7 spinoffs that are planned, I accepted that I would enjoy those more than the final book because I passed it.
I cut off my hand for the book.
This man is a master lore writer, so I'm in. Anything he does, I'm fully in. I'm
yeah,
down,
he's like 80, so we got.
Yeah,
well, you know,
we need to give his brain to IBM's Watson.
So it's time for him to run for president. A couple more years.
yeah, I'm surprised he's already not. I guess he's about 10 years off from being a congressman. So, yeah, perfect. So, you guys have any more gripes or anything like that? It sounds like you guys are cut out from expectations because you've read the book. You cheated. I can't read, so I have not read the book. I'm excited. Can't wait to see what happens. I think my guy in this, in my head right now, I'm trying to pick a guy. Hightower is. God, I want to like him, but he has the worst ideas ever. Viserys is pretty good. He's probably one of my guys. And then Cross. Is that's the knight's name, the Kingsguard? That's hanging out with Rhaenyra the whole time?
Bang, for sure.
Oh, it was Kristen. Is it Cross?
I don't know. Chris Cross, whatever. That's my boy. That's my guy.
Didn't you think he was about to
I did not think he was going to
he's about to spend the night with the queen and a romantic fire.
He's an honorable man. He
got fucking absolutely tossed by that boar, though.
He did catch a ride on the boar. I mean, I thought he was going down. That's
he
all.
Took it,
I thought he was going to
take it for the princess.
For the princess, yeah.
She showed a little bit of crazy.
I don't know if I could show her some restraint though when that white stag comes out and like you have the opportunity to kill it. Be like, she says no. I'm like, too late.
Yeah, I thought that was cool because she had just kind of gone off the rails, stabbing the shit out of the boar, and then she shows a little bit of restraint, like to not kill the stag. So
the boar swung first. You know what I mean? The boar come at them.
Yeah, it's nice that we're
coming right for us.
I like I like that they're complex and not just like, oh yeah, like this person's 100% pedal to the floor evil all the time, or this person's very good. So.
That's why I won't hear
show, all-time hype.
That's why I won't hear it that the hunt was whack, because it was cool. The hunt was cool. Rhaenyra's little side mission where she blew off some steam by stabbing a boar 75 times.
It'll all be main mission.
Yeah. It's good. I was feeling good about this episode.
Like gossiping, like when they were gossiping at the
pug,
the women and everything with the pug. Yeah, good shit. That's why I'm here. The action, anybody could do action. Give me some political intrigue.
About the guy with the messed up foot, definitely gonna be an impact later on, right?
Yeah, wonder what's going on with him. Hopefully he doesn't have gout, because I can feel for that, man. That's
got
right.
The pox. Me and Ali were like debating on what was wrong with the crab prince. I was like, they mentioned pox a lot. Prince? I think he's got a bunch of pox.
He's got grayscale, dude.
Crab prince.
That's what Ali said, but I said it was pox.
He's got ligma.
Does he have ligma? Is it bad?
Yeah.
A bad case of ligma.
Let's
throw a number.
What was your favorite dragon? Because mine was dragging these nuts in your face.
Farrell, what's your put a number on this bitch?
The tri-dragon
joke there. No tri-dragons here. You want me to go first? I'll go first. Fuck you guys. 8.7 is what I'm putting on this. I really enjoyed it. This the series is kicking ass, man. It's doing great. I'm happy. we'll see where it goes. I think this season's gonna be solid. I think at the end of all this, we'll be looking at an 8.5 or a 9. I think season 2 is probably gonna be great. I wonder how many it'll take before they fuck it up. So we'll see. What you got, Farrell?
See Robert on the Trident. If I see Robert on the Trident, my life will be complete. I gave it a 8.1, solid epi, nice setup. Shit's about to get crazy for sure. Do you guys know how many episodes it's gonna be?
I do. It's going to be 10 episodes. I also have the episode titles, which are already released. Did you know that?
Are they all released? I thought.
Yeah. Do you want to hear them?
No.
Let's hear next week's. Let's hear. Well, at the end. We'll hear next week's at the end. Yeah. What you got for a number on? Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
No, I lost my train of thought. I was about to say, like, we haven't got to, like, a shocking moment, which it's long overdue already, probably, for a Game of Thrones style show.
No deaths. Pissed off about that.
The Crab Prince is dead.
I mean, who the fuck cares? There's no main.
The Queen is dead.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm talking character you feel for. You know what I mean? I mean, the Queen, that was kind of.
You didn't care about the baby?
Yeah, air for a day. You know what I mean? Fuck him. Go ahead, Keith. What you got?
I'm giving this an 8.37.
That's solid.
Lost some points for the fog.
Yeah.
So
it's a good criticism. Don't laugh, Farrell. It's good. We have the patented Whamcast calculator that we
just
use.
If you're listening to this first, just wait till we get to the Ring of Power episodes. I'm gonna fucking set Keith in his place about fog.
Okay.
$1 billion and you can't beat.
Main episode. Listen to the main episode. Nothing here. Go ahead. Finish, Keith.
But all in all, they're adding to the roster, building that political intrigue. Just kind of really fleshing out the end game of this little storyline and kind of what directions this might go in. And if you watch the next time one, which I know you said you don't, but for those of you that did, definitely some candy in there. It's got me pretty stoked for next week, so can't wait.
I don't watch this. I don't fuck with this. I don't like the spoilers. But first off, that gives it a Whamcast rating. Episode 3 of House of the Dragon has a rating of 8.39, which is very, very solid. It's just doing good. It looks like we got all 8s about for the show. So yeah, we're loving it, man. Give us more. And speaking of more, Keith, what do we have to look forward to next week? I'm sure, if like you said, if you watch the preview, you kind of know. But what are we looking at?
Next week's episode is titled "King of the Narrow Sea."
Oh shit! Okay,
yeah,
okay. Go off, Damon. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go. All right, that's exciting. Yeah, I haven't watched
King of the North.
Exactly. Yeah.
King of the Narrow Sea. It doesn't roll off.
What good kingdom doesn't have 2 kings?
King of the North, man. God damn, that made me sad.
King of the North.
King of the North. God damn it, that makes me sad. Okay, all right. We ended on a sad note. That sucks.
R.I.P. Rob.
Great White Wolf, man.
Your balls were bigger than your brain.
He died undefeated.
Yeah, died undefeated. Big time. By fucking Filch, dude. God damn him. All right. We're gonna stop it. We'll keep going. All right. That's the end of the episode. This is just a bonus episode of House of the Dragon. Catch us next week. We're gonna watch the new episode and bring you a nice little tidbit, nice little bonus episode on the feed. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed. That way you know when these episodes come out. Leave a little review while you're over on Apple or Spotify subscribing. You can also subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. See our beautiful faces here. See what's going on. You can see all the little emotes that the boys throw up. Doesn't piss me off at all. I love it. Yeah, thank you, Farrell. Thank you so much. Oh, look at the penguin. That one's really cute. I like that one. Damn, those are a couple penguins. So make sure you're subscribed over on YouTube. All that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter at WatchLongman. Tune in next week as we watch House of the Dragon and check out our main feed as we are now diving into Lord of the Rings. It's going to be a recurring episode similar to this. And we're also checking out our IMDb top 100 list. We watched Midnight Cowboy. So we're going to get into that, be a little cowpokes. So catch you on the next one, and thanks.